don't be afraid to be a disruptor. And what I mean by that is don't be afraid to like kind of go against the grain, push the status quo, speak up for your self-worth, speak up for yourself. So like with regards to our conversation on open to work, if something's not working for you, speak up, own it. Don't just be a victim in the process. I want to bring this is not going to shock you. I want to disrupt like the normal traditional recruiting vibe. I've been pretty public about my open to work experience. You know, while I was talking to Brad, I still had some other opportunities I was pursuing, just making sure that I was going through, just going the right direction, right? And so I have some just really horrific stories of how I was treated as a candidate and how we have a lot to learn, not just in the multifamily industry, but all industries.
Recruiting is sales. I encourage all the hiring managers and recruiters to approach recruiting as a salesperson. When you're actually trying to recruit someone for an open position, you're actually trying to sell a product. The product is that open position, right? So if you're in a mindset of, selling, you should always be selling, you know, always sell. On a candidate end, it's also they're part of the process. It's a sell for them too. And it's also about finding that perfect match or like the ideal match between or the overlap. And when there's enough, overlap, then means that probably it's a good, it's going to be a good deal. But when you get rejected, this is what I wanted to get. When you get rejected, therefore redirected, it's qualifying your leads. It's how you qualify your leads in sales. Who is a qualified lead? Well, this employer that rejected me is definitely not a qualified lead. They're off my list, so I could focus on the million others. They're out there and they're hiring for someone like me.
So I want to bring more of a disruptive approach to the partnerships. I don't know about you, but sometimes I feel like they're so transactional, right? So I want it to be more of like transformational. So how can we do that? It's really zeroing in on how can we collaborate, really talking about their culture, not just going to fill a role. You know, you've always heard like people do business with people that they like. I actually disagree with that. I think that people do business with people that they trust. So that's one of the things that kind of sealed the deal for me is I was like, wait a minute, Brad, let me get this straight. You're actually going to try and help companies keep their people. That's a pretty trusting position. But also, he's not full of fluff by saying, like, look at me, I have all this great culture and I have all these great employees, but my employees are turning over constantly. His people collectively have over 150 years combined experience who have been with him a long time, looking for a job, how exhausting that can be, and how you tend to start going after your own self-worth. I'm not good enough. Why didn't they choose me? Why aren't they answering me? Well, come to find out, this person, after talking with the C-suite, finally got a response, and they said to him, "Oh, sorry, I thought that I emailed you, but the email I was going to send you was stuck in my drafts folder." And he was like, okay. Like, first of all, you're one of the C-suites of this company. That's a very bad sign." And they were going to directly work for, he was going to directly work for this person. And he literally was like, well, I had already bailed out and taken my name out of the audition, out of the interviewing. He's like, because I could tell that this isn't a company I want to work with if they're not going to even respond to the people who are interviewing. Come to find out, another person that I know interviewed for the same position, same thing happened to her. Like, what?
People might not realize, but when you advertise to the world that you're a free agent, so many people that might have followed you, might have admired you, might have wanna, ask you to come work for them. But I think out of respect and out of the fact that they're thinking poaching poaching is not okay, they probably restrain themselves and did not reach out. Also, when you become yourself a free agent, you will find what your true worth is because the free market kicks in. And this is the most beautiful thing that could happen to you as a candidate.
I don't even know how to pinpoint it exactly, but just like the respect, the lack of respect, the lack of professionalism. People are okay. It's like when you dump your boyfriend or girlfriend, right? Just give them, first of all, at least say the words and then give them some closure. And maybe, if it's, don't be hurtful, but at least give them something to walk away and know, okay, that chapter is closed. Let me move on. The things that always get me through these moments are my three favorite words. Rejection is redirection. That helps me not take it personal. But it's not just the multifamily industry, because we're not unique snowflowers or snowflakes in this regard, right? Other industries have this same issue, but the lack of professionalism on top, and then recruiters, if you're using a recruiter. But I will say, this is not a bash on recruiting services or C-suite or whatever. It's a two-way street, right? So the candidates, please also show the same respect. And if for some reason you don't want to pursue that opportunity anymore, let that person, whoever is in part of that hiring process, let them know that you're no longer interested so they don't waste their time. So it definitely is a two-way street. But I just felt it recently where I just felt like I was, when was the last time you went to a deli and they're calling your number? That's what I felt like. I'm like, what am I, like a side of ham?